I'm here in Cervinia in Val d'Aosta, Italy, to celebrate the anniversary of a rather special company, founded by a rather special lady. Erna Lowe, a young Austrian student living in Britain, in 1932 inadvertently founded the modern ski package holiday, with her advert in a newspaper offering to take a group on a fortnight's holiday to Austria for the sum of £15. For her, it was a means to finance Christmas holidays with her family. But with her knowledge of the mountains and local guides, as well as her natural ability to host and entertain, the trip was a hit. Some 7 decades on, the company that Erna founded by taking 5 people to the Austrian Alps is celebrating its 80th year of business. Last year alone, it was responsible for taking over 14,000 people on holiday, many of them to the French Alps. By way of celebrating the 80 years of Erna Lowe running ski holidays to the Alps, I'm going to attempt to ski on some vintage skis with a good friend of mine who has an encyclopedic knowledge of ski history, Peter Hardy. Now Peter, what are the age ranges of the skis we have?
They range from about 1900 up to, we've got some really modern ones of 1960 there. So this is spanning the whole era of Erna Lowe from when she first started.
And these are some of the oldest ones?
These are some of the oldest skis we've got, and they're around about 1900, and we could tell that because they haven't got any form of metal edge on them at all. So if you hit a patch of ice, you've got a problem. But of course there were no piste patches then, you were just skiing in deep snow. And as a binding, you've got a very, very, very simple, what we call a brake leg binding, because once you're in there, it's not going to come out. This is long before the invention of safety bindings. The boot was a very simple thing, a hobnail boot that you'd have worn on the farm around here. You jam it in there, tighten the clip, and away you go. And it's quite a difficult skiing technique. These would be around about 1910 or sort of First World War maybe, and by then it's changed. The binding is still fairly similar, although they've managed to put a spring in it. And
metal edges.
Metal edges, that's the big difference. So they've screwed in metal edges all the way down. So now if you actually hit a patch of ice, the ski will hold.
Right.
And then these skis come in around about 1925. Still the same sort of thing. We're getting a little bit more sophisticated up here. You can adjust the cable, things like that. Metal edge again, and a much better sole. And then we come to the first sort of the first safety binding. You have a forward binding here that does actually amazingly provide some form of protection in a lateral fall. But if you punch that, you might come out. And there is a forward release as well too, in theory. But it never actually worked.
Right.
And then we move on to really the first metal ski which came in, which was around about 1960, late 50s. And that had a much more sophisticated binding on it. It's sprung both ways.
So you can actually,
right, the boot will come out of that. Put that in there, jam that up. There you go. The sideways release and the forward release now began to work. Right. Because they put some bit more sophisticated stuff in there, a bit better spring.
So if you pull hard enough on this,
hard enough on there, it will actually
release.
just come out.
Right. Okay. So which skis do you think that I should ski on?
Oh, I think you should go for the oldest and the earliest and the most difficult, the ones with no edges.
Okay. Luckily, we've had some fresh snow up here, and but it's going to be skiing telemark style.
It's going to be skiing telemark style and stick in the deep stuff, because once you get onto any form of pisted stuff that is here, there's no grip at all.
Right, brilliant. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. Let's go skiing.
Let's go.
Right, okay, well,
so let's
give it a try.
I'm going to try and
snowplow
down here, I think.
Off we go. Woo!
It's like being a beginner, complete beginner. A very strange sensation.
It isn't that dissimilar to modern day telemarking, except no metal edges. But the snow's soft enough. You can give it a little bit of a kick, get yourself going. It's actually quite fun.
That it brings about its own existence.
Snow's a bit sticky lower down. Come on boys, run, run! Woohoo! This patch of snow is too small. We'll get more lower down. This is what it was like in the old days. Well, Peter, thank you for lending me the skis. It's been a wonderful experience and I think a great way of celebrating what Erna Lowe has done for the sport.
Well, we've had a great morning. I thought you skied really well. I find it really difficult to ski on those old skis.
It was challenging, but you're going to tell me now that Erna invented après ski, aren't you?
Absolutely. In the 1930s, when she used to take these groups to Austria, we have letters showing that they had the most amazing time after skiing as well. And I think they had to make their own entertainment. I don't think exactly any nightclubs or anything. But they had a good time after skiing. It wasn't just the skiing, it was the whole experience of being on the mountain. And she definitely was one of the great pioneers of skiing of the 20th century.
Well, I think we have an awful lot to be thankful for, so cheers to Erna Lowe.
Cheers to Erna Lowe. First marker binding on,
Right.
and which doesn't work, by the way.
Right.
Don't expect it to release,
No.
it won't. And there is a forward release in theory on that, but in practice it doesn't work at all. So the answer is don't fall over.
Right.
That it brings about its own existence.
Not that uncomfortable, are they?
No, that was a big lightning strike. Right over our
Let's put these down, shall we? Can't think of anything worse to be carrying than that at this stage.
So you really ought to ski with a safety strap as well on the edge, but
Yeah,
I'm sure you're not going to fall over.
yeah, you might be sure. Right, let's go skiing.
Good luck.
Thanks. Let's go down.